any action we take or others take would have to be legal, would have to be proportionate, it would have to be specifically to deter and degrade the future use of chemical weapons. Let me stress to people, this is not about getting involved in a Middle Eastern war or changing our stance in Syria or going further into that conflict. It's nothing to do with that. It's about chemical weapons. Their use is wrong, and the world shouldn't stand idly by. No decision has yet been taken, but let's be clear what is at stake here. Almost 100 years ago, the whole world came together and said that the use of chemical weapons was morally indefensible and completely wrong. And what we've seen in Syria are appalling scenes of death and suffering because of the use of chemical weapons by the Assad regime. And I don't believe we can let that stand.
It is absolutely in the national security interests of the United States and in the international community that the use of chemical weapons on the scale that we saw on August 21st cannot be ignored. It must be responded to. It is clear already that chemical weapons were used on a large scale, undeniable, and that the Assad regime is the only possible force that could have deployed them. And there has to be a response to that clear violation of international norms. What the President is engaged in is a process of deciding, as he consults with international allies and as his administration consults with Congress, about what the appropriate response to this flagrant violation of international norms should be. And there must be a response. The options that we are considering are not about regime change. They are about responding to a clear violation of an international standard that prohibits the use of chemical weapons. We are also very much engaged in an effort to support the opposition in its struggle with the Assad regime as the Assad regime continues to try to massacre its own people in an effort to maintain power.